Hello, Zillionaire. And hello, entrepreneur. And hello to you that you are in this masterclass. Once again to this masterclass, welcome. And my name is Dr. Julius Oluwasegun Aroba, your host, your mind entrepreneurship surgeon. In this masterclass of today, we're going to be talking about mental discipline and overcoming temptation in wealth creation. Mental discipline and overcoming temptation in wealth discipline. The challenges for most of us in this day and time is that some people lack ability to be able to make what I call a good decision. Gone are the days when people used to say you are like the kind of decision you made when you're growing up. But when a man or when a woman or a male or a female has actually ascertained a certain age, which is the age that I call a decision age, by the time you now grow up after 18 years old or 16 years old, depending on the country where you're joining this masterclass from today, is that people start addressing you right from varsity days as Mr. Lee or Miss Siboniso, or they call you Clark or Jeff or Daniel. They start addressing you with those names because you are not looking at the decision of what you are. When you look at the way the systemic world has been created, most of us, when we go to school, when we started varsity, our name was not what they called us. By the time you're getting out of that university, they start calling you doctor because you study medicine. They call you engineer because you study engineering. They call you lawyer or barrister because you study law. And that shows that you look like the decision that you made when you were growing up. And that is why that leads to lack of discipline to follow through a consistency. And a lot of people become particularly clear when they look at how people often sabotage their own financial decisions and successes in life. A lot of people, it's not because you are not financially capable or financially wealthy. You are, but because you don't have the mental discipline and overcoming temptation and be able to have what I call delayed gratification. And that is why you're not able to save. And that is why you're not able to have discipline towards this. There is nobody that is wealthy in this world that does not have discipline. When you look at the likes of Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Ortega, and Louis Vuitton, VHL, Mark Zuckerberg, and so on and so forth, they're all disciplined. Is it in the country where you are? When you talk about Zimbabwe, you're talking about Stripe, Misiwa, very disciplined. Or maybe you're talking about, if you're in Nigeria, Dangote and all the likes, or if you're in South Africa, we're talking about Patrice Motsepe and all the likes. They're all very disciplined because they've been able to know how they can preempt and preserve temptation when it comes to spending. Temptation to spend, to avoid budgeting, or to skip investing in everything we do are some of those things that build wealth understanding in terms of short-term temptation, which often leads to long-term regrets. Again, I also understand that yes, there are some things that are necessary. Sometimes we spend out of impulse so that we can be able to. At the end of the day, if you're not disciplined on that, you might not be able to. There are sometimes I just want to spoil myself or spoil my family or spoil the people that are within the team as a result of saying, you know what, not every time we can't be able to stay so tight on that budget, but you can let loose that. This is what we call create a miscellaneous spending, so that when you are disciplined towards what you're meant to do, you can be able to put a caveat towards this. And that comes to, for example, let's say you want to start saving the lowest denominator of your local currency, let's say $350 or $300 per month. once a month. You find yourself being tempted sometimes to buy expensive gadgets. If you're somebody that likes gadgets, and you find yourself sometimes tempted to buy maybe something that is impromptu because you're not so much disciplined on some of those things. But again, I know some will say, oh no, I only have one life to live. I was speaking to one of my mentees yesterday, and he said to me that anytime we always have a session, that he's always gingered, always encouraged because of the way I always put things across and how to be able to create things. And this is it. Your discipline sometimes always revolve around your efforts that takes a hit, and you end up making a decision that delayed your progress sometimes because you're not able to keep to the $300 that you want to save. And this is not a matter of being intelligent or even like a willpower or about your mental discipline. It is about training yourself to be able to recognize the pleasure of instant gratification so that you can actually start looking at some certain amount of fleets of savings, while the reward of consistent discipline towards that saving $300 or that local currency can actually help you, so that when the amount of money comes in handy, you can actually use that money in investing into an opportunity that will come. Again, the mental discipline here is you able to take that personal decision in making sure you have a personal capacity to put things in place with what I call a caveat, so that no matter what come rain, come sun, nothing's going to be able to tell on that. And again, smart financial decisions will always leave a long-lasting approach in anything you do in life. Building wealth requires you saying no to short-term pleasures. I know you have made a decision in January, and this is November. You said, you know what, I want to be able to build, I want to be able to invest, I want to be able to save X amount of money. At the end of the day, if you sit down now, the year is not actually ended yet. You still have a lot of things that you can still achieve in the year. And this is why I want to encourage you that wealth building will actually help you sometime to take what I call a mental decision towards short-term pleasure over long-term asset investments. Mental discipline is not about you being perfect in all reality as an honest person. It is about you being consistent, doing the things that move you towards your goals, even getting it better, becoming more proactive with it, and before you know it, you become what you want to look like in those years, in those months that you've set. I hope you've actually been able to see that it's very important for you to have a very good mental discipline towards your wealth creation strategies. On this note, I'm your mind financial entrepreneurship surgeon. I'll come your way again, and my name is Dr. Oluwasegun Julius Aroba. Take care, my friend.